Let's hop into the Dota buff here. Nightstalker as a hero has been pretty popular in the pro scene over the last couple months, maybe a year. Not really sure exactly how long, but um, yeah, he's basically been seeing popularity mostly as a support and occasionally as an offlane hero, which I find a little interesting. I played him as a support this game, and it went pretty well if you look at the most popular build. This is mostly correct. Usually, you'll grab a second level of Crippling Fear at either level 2 or level 4. Just because the fourth level of Hunter in the Night, which makes you run faster at night and attack faster, doesn't change that much per level. It's only 5% movement speed and 15 attack speed, whereas having the silence can silence for somebody for up to 5 seconds at night, which is really good. Not to mention give them a 50% miss chance. So usually you need that level if they actually have a heroes that can escape from that. So Void is one of the best spammable nukes in the game. It's an 8-second cooldown, single target, 335 damage, really big damage, and it slows for 4 seconds at night for 50% attack speed and 50% slow. At daytime, it only does 2 seconds of that, so it's much worse at night. They changed Nightstalker's ultimate recently. What it does now is it lowers the vision. Not only does it make it nighttime, but also makes everybody's vision only 675. Typical nighttime vision for a normal hero is 800, so it reduces it by a little bit. Yeah, reduces 675. That's a huge nerf for wards. Wards have a huge vision, something like 1800, I would guess. I don't know that for sure though. But at night, putting it down to 675 is massive. So it's kind of like a ward nerf in some ways. And it also makes it harder for your opponents to see where you are. And that's because Nightstalker has a huge night vision range of 1800. His day vision range is far less than a regular hero's at 1200. So typical hero's day vision range is 1800 and their night vision is 800. But for Nightstalker, it's mostly night vision range and he does have some day vision. His movement speed's a bit slow, but that gets made up for the fact that you've got Hunter in the night. So he's very fast at night. So the skill build's mostly correct. I think getting your ultimate 6 is fine, can be delayed. He's not a very popular hero. 79th, his win rate's okay. In the pro scene, he is played occasionally, depending on the team. I know Ninjas in Pajamas picked this hero a lot. I believe is one team that picked this hero a lot for their offlane. Common items, phase boots, urn, skull basher. I think treads is better personally than phase boots because you can tread switch to make your mana go farther. And the really good item is Aghanim Scepter. And what Aghanim's does, not only does it, well, it used to change. Yeah, it doesn't actually technically upgrade the Aghanim's ultimate, but what it does basically is gives you unobstructed vision at night. So it gives you up to 1800 flying vision at night, which is very, very overpowered if you use it correctly because it allows you to spot where your opponents are and where they're going to be. It's very good against techies as well, actually. It's a good techies counter. If you can get Ag Scepter, wait till it's nighttime, buy a gem, and then you can move around the map and you can see all of the wards, or all of the mines, sorry, within range. Unless, of course, the techies has Ags. So I'm not going to go too far into the items here. If you're playing a core Nightstalker, things like Armlet are situationally good. Black King Bar is very good. Skull Basher is good. Helm of the Dominator Vlad's, those are fine, I guess. I'm a little surprised to see Vlad's such a high win rate, actually, but heroes you're good against. Heroes you're good against are heroes that need to cast their spells. So Earth Spirit to escape, Phoenix to use his egg, Anti-Mage to blink away, Storm Spirit to ball away. Good against Keeper of the Light because if you just silence him, he just dies really fast because his armor's low. Same situation for Pugna. Chen is having some trouble not getting killed by Nightstalker, probably because Mycorine. It's hard to use the disables for the neutral creeps to work on Nightstalker because he's so fast. And good against Draw Ranger, probably because Nightstalker's just so fast that he can consistently stay in melee range against Draw Ranger, and her ultimate then won't be useful. Heroes he's really bad against. High mobility heroes are countered by heroes that do a lot of physical damage and minus armor, and also by heroes that can lock you down and prevent you from moving. And the heroes that do that are Meepo. Meepo can basically chain net you, and if that fails, they just right-click you. And if they right-click you, you get slowed heavily by the Geostrike, 20% per Meepo. So which pretty much cancels out all of your movement ability, and then your tankiness doesn't really do anything. Slardar is just generally good against it because Slardar has a ton of burst damage and very good physical damage because of amplify damage. Poor against Bristleback, probably because Bristle just doesn't really die. He doesn't have to worry about getting ganked too much, so Bristle can just turn around. Also, he can slow the Nightstalker back. Poor against Broodmother because he has no AoE, so Brood can very easily push against him, and Nightstalker can't really do that much against that. He can go ganking for Brood though, so I'm a little surprised to see this because if you do get Ags and a gem, you can very easily find the Brood. Poor against Crystal Maiden, probably because Crystal Maiden has a large variety of disables, one of which is Frostbite on a very low cooldown. So as long as Crystal Maiden gets something like a Ghost Scepter and can only take damage from Void, basically, then she should be able to turn around as the silence ends and do a ton of damage to the Nightstalker and prevent him from running away. Tidehunter, I guess Tidehunter is very tanky. Also, his Kraken Shell's second skill will remove the silence, so the silence really does nothing against Tide. Jakiro has really high base strength and strength gains, so Jakiro is decently survivable against it. And PL, that one's a little surprising, but PL can very easily chase down Nightstalker and go on the offense. So a little bit surprised to see some of this. Very, very good strength gain on Nightstalker. Very good agility gain for a strength hero. And his ink gain's a little poor, but that's okay because he gets away with that with a couple items. So that's Nightstalker. If we find myself playing Nightstalker, I don't know what my win ratio is. Oh, that's right. For some reason, I don't know what it is, but it's like I can't, for some reason when I type in Knight, it doesn't show up. I have a 61.9% win ratio on Nightstalker with only 21 games played, not that much. And my overall win ratio is 56.34, so I am about average with Nightstalker is basically what this comes down to. Yeah, if my numbers aren't really higher than my overall average, then that definitely means I'm not especially talented at that hero, I would say. And I think, is my Shadow Demon really mediocre as well? I think my Shadow Demon's like 50% or something like that. Maybe Shadow Demon really isn't the hero. I don't know. I like playing him. Yeah, Shadow Demon. I was just looking at this. All right, let's hop into the game. Wait, we gotta close this first. Black screen. All right, let's press play. So played this game like a week and a half ago. Long time coming for this one. I'm just gonna jump forward here till I get into the game. Player perspective, of course. I played a support Nightstalker here. This almost never gets played right now, but it was pretty popular in the previous patch due to the fact that vision was really good, because having vision over your opponents allowed you to stop them from initiating in a lot of cases and also guaranteed that you could get them killed. So, Nightstalker support basically works best by ganking and roaming, basically, because you get the benefit of, if you do get boots, you have this big movement speed advantage, and you have big vision advantage over your opponents. So if you can go to lanes where people should be dying, or shouldn't be dying, and all of a sudden you show up at night, and you can silence somebody and slow them on an 8-second cooldown, you can get a lot of kill potential, basically. So I ran them, so I got a lot of free stuff that I probably shouldn't have, but I bought Courier, I bought Observer Wards, and I bought a Self Tango. You know, I think people would actually be really annoyed by that voice line if anyone actually played Elder Titan, but they don't, so no problems there. Nightstalker is a pretty good roaming hero, though, basically, because once it hits nighttime, which happens at the 4-minute mark, you can move around, and you can be a very big ganking force. You also have really high base armor, something else I didn't talk about for Nightstalker. He's got 5 base armor, which is a huge amount. 5 armor at the beginning of the game is really remarkable. I feel like I'm on the wrong person. That was weird. Did I click on something? I'm not sure. Put a rune ward down. Gonna put a lane ward down as well, apparently. This should help me out a little bit against the Quap. Now, Quap is a hero that definitely beats me in terms of a harass war, I would say. If I can get in a melee range, then that's good for me. But if we're anything like this, it's kind of tough. And I wanted to get a couple more hits in there, but I only got one. And that's kind of a big portion of my mana pool, so I have to be kind of careful. And again, your movement speed before you get boots and before it's nighttime is actually pretty bad. So this is difficult. I didn't really feel like I was going to be able to zone her, and it looks like the creep wave is actually pushing. So I opted to... I have no idea what I was trying to do here. I think I was trying to stack the small camp, maybe. But that didn't work. I think I told the Leshrac to pull here. I don't know. I'm awfully confused. Oh, what the hell I just did. I think I was trying to stack the small camp. I was like, maybe this will work. It didn't. It did not work. So creep wave pushed, unfortunately, which means that Queen of Pain's going to get a lot of levels. So normally what you do to take care of that is you start the pull. We did get a pull going here. Unfortunately, it looks like we lost a couple creeps. Oh, never mind. Only one. I should have pulled there. I'm a little bit late. Oh, now I really messed it up. So I pulled late, and then I missed my initial pull. I did get one creep out of it, luckily, but that's still bad because it should have a stacked range creep. And a stack range creep will always push, so that was a pretty big mess up. I must have been like alt-tabbed or distracted, or maybe I just suck. Also a possibility. Pick up level 2 here, which is pretty nice. I'm going to grab Silence because it's against the Queen of Pain, and Silence is the hard counter to that hero. Had to do the Silence first. Really important that I did that. If you don't do the Silence first, then you're not going to be able to get the kill, pretty much. We don't need to slow her, we need to guarantee that she isn't going to be able to blink away. So Silence comes, even if it only lasts, like, how long? 3 seconds? Very, it's not terrible. It's actually not terrible. If you compare this to an ability like Skywrath Mage's Silence, it's kind of comparable. It silences for 3 seconds, same as the Sky Silence, and the other cool part is that it gives a miss chance. It's bad at daytime though for that, it's only 10%, but at nighttime it's a 5-second silence with 1 skill point, and they miss 50%, which is pretty good. So I'm wrapping around here on the Storm Spirit because I want to get a gank off. Storm is only level 4, so he's not 6 yet. So all we have to do is time our shrapnels with muscles. So I told him to shrapnel, I think, here. I probably didn't need to put the silence down. But the reason that I did put the silence down is because it prevented him from remnanting for a couple seconds. So that's actually very worth it to do. If I'm chasing and diving like that and he can remnant and attack me once as he's running away, all of a sudden when I start diving that tower, I'm missing 150, 200 HP that I would have had otherwise. So that was a little scary, but I get a second kill out of that. That of course was a smoke. If I didn't have a smoke, I wouldn't have been able to do that. But if you're playing support, you should be going for kills like that. And I mean, I was told this a lot in Korea, but I didn't really learn it until later. But when you do those ganks, it's important not to just rush it. You have to wait until your opponent goes into the creep wave, or wait until they're going for the last hit, rather than just running right in as soon as you get there. It's important that you do that, because otherwise you're put in a bad spot. You run in and they might just randomly back off, which happens sometimes. If there's no creeps, if there's no last hit, somebody will sit back a little bit. If they're going for a last hit, they're going to overextend. So what I did there is I waited until the storm went far in, and then I came through. And the other important part, of course, and this is what I do every time I smoke gank, is I wrap around. And that way I come from the back and I get extra attacks off. Otherwise, I would just cast a void, silence him, and attack maybe once. And that would be really poor. Unfortunately, this was cast a little bit early. And the worst part is that I don't have a third skill. I haven't used my third skill yet. We should be able to keep chasing though. This is pretty hard. Alright, we were able to get the kill though. It's hard to say. It's nighttime. I've been roaming very well, but I didn't have my Hunter in the Night skill yet. And I really need Hunter in the Night skill, because if I had it there, that would have been way easier. But as soon as I pick that up, boom, my movement speed shoots up by about 50 here. It's basically like having a Sanjin Yasha, and my attack speed goes up as well. And my mouth opens up all creepy. It's like this gross ass, like, vagina with teeth kind of shit going on. Not that vaginas are gross. Don't think I'm saying that. But I don't want your vagina to look like that. That's all I'm going to say. But with level 4 now, it's nighttime. I can go for ganks. And they're going to be a little bit better, because now I'm going to silence the storm for up to 6 seconds. And he's sitting really far back now because he did get ganked. If he does get 6, things get tough. And here he is going forward for a last hit. Now is when I approach. Silenced a little bit late there, so I took a remnant. But we got a couple hits here, and the assassinate is going to guarantee the kill. So silence was a bit late. And I would have taken about 100, 150 damage less otherwise. I was a little flippant with responding to this guy, because honestly, I don't really watch any pro teams. Yeah, it's basically the same, pretty much the same situation, except I watched the EG versus, was it EG versus Cloud9 finals for Dota Pit? I watched those, but I don't watch that many pro games between major tournaments, so I didn't really have an answer for him. If I were to answer that question now, though, I would say I think Secret has the highest chance of winning out of all the teams. Maybe followed by EG, and third place maybe a Chinese team. But I know all the Chinese teams have been doing really poorly lately. I'm not entirely sure. I would like to see MVP Hot 6 go really far if possible. Maybe a couple others. Anyways, ganking, it's good stuff. Hit him a couple times. Eventually I'll silence him. I maybe could have silenced him earlier. It's more just good that I'm chasing him out of lane, honestly. Like, even though this isn't necessarily going to accomplish anything, this kind of wastes a lot of his time as a hero. And I've also got a TP out of it, which is pretty good. Because it's nighttime, right? I've got a minute until daytime. I run 50 movement speed faster than every other hero. I've got a bottle. I've got 6 base armor, and all I have is a circlet and a boots and a bottle. That's pretty good value here. So I think we wanted to go on the... Can't remember. It looks like I wanted to kill the Sky. Unfortunately, the Spirit missed. Oh, I remember this part now. This is really scary for the Elder Titan. I bottled up the Elder Titan here.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, killing the Sky was not going to happen, but I think we did that a little poorly. I guess it kind of worked. What probably needed to happen is we maybe needed to go on the Tiny instead. If he spirited the Tiny, and the Tiny takes bonus damage from my nuke, then he would have died pretty fast, and then I could have silenced the Skywrath perhaps. Storm picked me up here. This was a little unfortunate. I was able to buy out before I died. But that was really greedy to do, though. I should have thought, like... I'm sure if I look at if I go back, that the Storm obviously went to the top room, but I wasn't watching that. And it's a mistake that I died to multiple times throughout a session, a couple of games of Dota. It's something I really need to fix. I really got to start watching the map more. Got to get my focus up a little bit. That's my biggest Dota issue, I feel. This is Moonhead owning scrubs like normal. I'm just kidding. Moonhead is you know, I think he's somewhere around 3K, but he played this game really well. I was really impressed with him this game. He really stepped it up. Maybe it's because it's sniper, but I mean it wasn't the last patch or anything. And I did gank for him once or twice, but you know he had a really nice game. So what do you do when it's daytime and you're supporting Nightstalker? Well, ideally you're able to farm power treads and a bottle. If you get a lot of roaming done, and I got a lot of roaming done this game. If you can accomplish that, then you put yourself in a really good spot. And this allows me to basically do whatever I want until nighttime. And one thing you can do is just jungle. Because I have treads, my attack speed is a lot higher. I've also got a bit more HP. It would be kind of nice to have a stout shield because I would take a lot less damage from creeps, but it's not terrible to do this either. Just kind of auto-attacking neutrals. It's one way to get levels. If you do end up nuking the creeps, that's fine. Just make sure you tread switch to int. Like when I'm about to bottle up, for example, I should just nuke a creep wave is what I should be doing. Switch to int, nuke the creep wave, bottle up afterwards. After all the fighting. Not so fast. Because if you're using a bottle, you should always lose your HP and your mana at pretty much an equal rate. So bot rune is there. I don't know if I get this or not. I can't remember. Oh, I remember who the Nightstalker was. No.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Should have been able to pick that up, but did get contested by the Quap, so not the end of the world. I've basically been able to farm, what, 3 neutral camps now, with help from a bottle. That was a bit peculiar to me. But that got me my level 6. I could pop my ultimate here to run fast if needed. I'll finish up my wand. Wand bottle, very, very good Nightstalker support items. I saw some Nightstalkers, I don't know if they skip treads or not, but I think going treads is very, very good as a support. Maybe phases to your liking as well. Maybe you'd like phase better, but I personally like treads the best. Phase works pretty good because you already get attack speed from your passive, Hunter in the Night. So it's not terrible to go phase by any means, but I just really like treads. I think I used to go phase, maybe. Used to go like phase, bottle, wand with an urn. It's a lot of early game items, but if you get some good kills off with it, it's really amazing. So, can go for a kill here. I needed to approach from the right side. See, this was really poorly done by me. Should have silenced first of all.
Fear quiets magic.
So what I didn't do there was basically what I explained to you before about ganking. When I approached there, I went in after he got a last hit. And if somebody gets a last hit, they're going to run away. So I approached as he had gotten a last hit. I basically was a little bit late. I needed to see that that creep was almost dead, and I needed to get in position for going for him on that creep. And that would have been better to do. So because I went afterwards, I ended up chasing him. He was already running back while I was running in, and he naturally got a lot more space. If I can break invis, or break vision range, while slowing him, following up with a silence, then we're guaranteed the initiation, pretty much. But because I was a half second late, it completely botched the gank, and we lost 3 heroes. I don't know why the Razor was there. The Razor didn't need to be there, but that should have gone far better. So even when you're playing like unranked games like these, and I'm playing random heroes, there's still like a lot to learn and a lot of mistakes that are made, and that can be analyzed. And in that gank, I completely messed it up because I needed to go in right when he's going for the last hit. That gives me the highest chance by far to get a last hit. Moonhead again, owning scrubs. All day, every day. Almost level 7. Pretty good place for me. I also used my ultimate slightly before it was nighttime, which is kind of nice. Because it just gave me a really elongated nighttime. Got a Quap over here. Can probably dive this guy. But I don't think my allies are quite close enough, so... Not gonna happen. But basically when it's nighttime, you need to play really aggressive, and hopefully you understand the strengths and weaknesses of your hero and you don't feed. Because if you feed on Nightstalker, I think you put yourself in a really bad place. Again, against the Quap, silence first, slow afterwards. I have no idea why Storm died there. I guess he was getting hit by the sniper or something, but we wrecked that team fight really hard. Just gonna bottle up our Lust Strike here. Get a bit more HP. Also got a smoke. This is a really easy kill. Silence first so he doesn't avalanche because it's an instant cast. And then blown up.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Alright, and now you can start building eggs at this point. And it's just all around a really good item for a support, because Nightstalker has pretty good damage output. He's got really good vision. You can spot opponents. You're kind of like a super powered hero at nighttime. You have vision advantage over your opponents. You can place wards. You can run around. You have movement speed advantage. Like the third skill alone turns Nightstalker from being not at all possible to be a support. Like if he didn't have Hunter in the Night, he would not be viable as a support at all, because you really need like two single target disables is not nearly enough for a support to be viable, but it kind of works because you can roam and because it translates into really good vision and just really big HP. And that's what I'm aiming for with Ags. It's not only just the night vision, it's also trying to make up for the fact that I don't have a lot of items, so if I just get a lot of HP, I can leverage my fairly low cooldown skills to get a lot of value out of that. And your skill build should pretty much always be this, where you leave Crippling Fear at 1 and then you go to 4 levels of Hunter in the Night. And that's because Crippling Fear scales terribly, one of the worst scaling abilities in the game. It only goes up for night duration by 1 second per level. So I have vision over the Quap, he cannot see me, so I'm going to go in first on him. And hitting him as much as possible. This is almost scary, but I do have a haste, so not a big deal here. I will get silenced, take a little bit of damage, but you know, messing with him like this is just really good to do. And I backed off there, I believe, because it turned daytime. I do have my ultimate here, but if you just pressure people like that when you have an advantage, it helps out a lot, basically. Gave him the silence first, because just in case it didn't kill him. It was kind of close. It might not have killed him. Really good time to run away. They put a lot of nukes on me there. That was a bit of a scary fight. I don't think I meant to smoke there. That was a mistake. Next part of the Ags. I always start with the point booster first. A lot of the times I'll just have the point booster and I'll wait until the 3,000 gold to finish everything else. And the reason that I do that is because in most cases you don't have the item slots for the other pieces, and they're not very good individually anyways. It's only 10 of 1 stats. Usually if you have like an Aquila, or you'll need a Dust, or you'll need a Sentry Ward, there's a lot of other items that you often need more than having like just a stat item. And if I'm a primary hero like a Nightstalker, I almost always I really don't need those other stat items. I don't need the Blade of Alacrity for 10 attack speed, and I don't need the Staff of Wizardry for a little bit more mana. It's just unnecessary. This looks like my death here. I'm pretty sure I died here. And then they ran away. This was a bit weird. Yeah, I think I ended up living. I guess it was a little scary, the Disruptor. There's a chance he died there, but unlikely. The bottle really helped me a lot here. If I didn't have the bottle, I would have had a lot less HP regen, and I would have had to go back to base a lot more. So about halfway to daytime. Again, once I hit daytime or nighttime, then I've got another 4 minutes that I can be aggressive and gank a lot. 35% movement speed, that's so much. Guess it helps to have wings on your back, huh? Nightstalker's face kind of reminds me of those aliens from Mass Effect. I can't remember what they're called. It was Gareth, his race. They kind of look like that. Very, very similar. I don't know if I'm the first person to make that observation, but it's like his cheeks and his jaw. I think that's where I'm seeing it. Their eyes were maybe a little beady too. This looks bad for our team. It's not even nighttime yet. I don't even want to ulti for this. Well, they got Disruptor, I guess. Alright, now if Moonhead's committed as well, that looks like a bit of a kill. I've been Orchided, but I really don't care because I've already casted my spells. I actually got triple Orchided there. Where did I get triple Orchided from? Skywrath Silence, an Orchid from Storm. I don't know what the third one was, but I saw 3 sound symbols on my head. I don't know what was up with that. But that was pretty good for me. Worthy use of nighttime of darkness, and darkness is almost up, and then it's nighttime again. So that's kind of a good time to use darkness. It's great to use it in daytime. I mean, it used to be the goal of darkness was cast it only when it's, or cast it as soon as it's up, unless it's daytime. If it's nighttime, you cast it because it would delay the cycle, but it doesn't do that anymore. It just temporarily makes it Nightstalker time, where like your face is all angry and shit. So usually you save it for daytime now, or if it's nighttime, you want to guarantee that you have a vision advantage over your opponents, because again, it does reduce their vision. So when I actually, probably part of the reason that the Tiny probably ran that stupidly towards the sniper was probably because his vision was reduced. He was running at the Tiny, but his vision, or he was running at the sniper, but his vision was only 675. I can't believe he didn't Craigie there. That was incredible. I told you, dudes, Moonhead just styling on kids this game. 7, 2, and 4. It was incredible. Moonhead, man, who knew? But if I'm not ganking, I am farming, I am getting neutral creeps, and using my super good attack speed to do so. If my allies are dead and we're not set up for a team fight, then I might as well be just jungling. This is really where Treads gives you a lot of leverage, I feel. So that's my Ags. 21 minutes is pretty darn good for support. Might as well just run back to base because I'm missing a lot of mana, and my bottle's empty. Although it looks like I will miss a fight, unfortunately. But Ags gives you, what, 10 damage, 10 attack speed, some HP regen, like an armor and a half. But more importantly, you get your unobstructed day vision. You'll see it just in a bit, in case you haven't seen it before. It is like almost always the build to go on Nightstalker. In the past, before Nightstalker had this, a lot of Nightstalkers would build like BKB first as a core. They would go mid, they'd get BKB first, and then they'd build like damage items like Basher or Armlet with, I think the S4 build he would go Armlet with Vlads, I believe, but build's a little weird. Nightstalker is not quite intended to DPS that way. It's a really high damage output hero in that way because you do get attack speed from Hunter in the Knight. And now I can basically do whatever the hell I want, because if I just look at the map, I can see exactly where I'm running to. So I checked my ulti cooldown. It's at 2 minutes. That means if I ultimate right now, I reduce the vision of my opponents, but I can also be aggressive. And look at this. I can just stare at them and I can say, oh, all their heroes are here. And you know, and if we know where they are, we basically don't have to die to them. I was just checking a little bit left there. This is kind of scary because our Elder Titan's a bit out of position, but if we see where they are, we can very likely go for the kill. This guy's a little fast here. Took a little Sky ulti here. Sounds a little late here. I don't think I did this fight very well. Storm does some confusing shit, that's for sure.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I think part of the reason that this game went so well, and I feel like we're in a super big advantage. We are. Part of the reason that this game went so well, I think, is because Moonhead just had a really good game. And since his MMR is so low, he's bringing down the average MMR, so the people we're playing against aren't very good. And that, in accordance with Moonhead doing well, means that he played, I think he played like a 4K game at least here. If not, maybe a little bit higher. Like, it doesn't take a lot to play sniper, right? You cast shrapnel, you right click somebody, you get last hits. If you got decent last hits and he right click, I mean, basically he got an advantage because I ganked for him and he probably last hit well and he got a kill without me, I believe. I think it looked like Storm is throwing at this point. So maybe this wasn't the best game to upload, but I haven't made a Nightstalker game in like over a year, so I really wanted to make one. This is basically just a dead hero. Nothing to be said about it. He does silence me last minute, but I don't think he was really trying at this point, unfortunately. But the important part's the early roaming. If your early roaming goes well in Nightstalker, you basically turned a greedy hero into a core. And I'm kind of playing more like an offlane at this point. If I look at my overall farm in reference to my team, yeah, I'm way up there. I'm actually matching the enemy team's mid, due to the fact that my roaming went well. And now it's daytime, unfortunately, which kind of sucks, so I don't have the advantage of my axe. But I still have a lot of HP, and I still have a silence that lasts up to 3 seconds or something. 3 seconds. Not amazing, but it's okay. And just to guarantee that we get the tower, I thought it would be good to use my ultimate here, because now their vision is reduced. And because I figure they're too scared to even team fight, I thought I would go jungle instead. This is really stupidly greedy, but it worked. They didn't go aggressive. Maybe it was me understanding their morale was weak. Yeah. I don't know. They had very low morale here, that's for sure. So my Hunter in the night, I'm sorry, my
bottom tower is under attack.
My night duration, what's called Crippling Fear, 7 seconds now, which is pretty good. It's kind of hard to ward here. I always have issues with it.
Dire's bottom tower is under
So
attack.
tough. See, I revealed that I did that there because there's a moon wall right there. The moon wall spots you from the low ground, so it doesn't work very well. And Hunter in the Night only lasts for like 50 seconds. So that's not even a minute. It's a very, very long time until the next nighttime, so we kind of have to stop for now. But we have really good vision with wards, so... Lucian runes are actually really good on Nightstalker. The reason being is because if it's nighttime, they get the same Ags effect. So they're pretty much like moving wards. They're actually, it's probably one of the better ways that Lucians work.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I think Satizi means I suck, but I'm not 100%. A bit of damage. Oh, that's called tunnel vision to the max. And this is Moonhead owning everybody. JK got a kill steal a little bit here. bottling and wanding. When you're on agi treads, we should basically run away at this point. But what a good fight, right? I mean, they actually had a really good fight there, but they overextended. The Disruptor shouldn't have died. Or the Skywrath Mage just like completely fed himself, trying really hard to kill me. What did I buy here? I think this is the beginning of the week where I was very enamored with the what's the item? Lotus Orb. I started buying Lotus Orbs for like a week straight, and I lost a couple games because of it. Because the item is so situational. I think the only time Lotus Orb is like a must buy is when your opponent has a couple hexes, whether that's Lion Hex or Shadow Shaman or they're buying hexes. That's when it's good to get a Lotus Orb because it removes it, but it's not good otherwise. Every time I think about removing hex, I think about one of our games in Korea where I played Visage, and I bought a Diffusal Blade because they had all these hexes, and Bambo needed to not get hexed or we lost. That's all I think about. I died. You know, it really would have been a good game to get a Cloak or a BKB, more so than a did I remember? It's a Lotus Orb, right? Yeah, Lotus Orb. Would have been good to get a Cloak. I feel like Glimmer Cape also would be okay on support Nightstalker. Maybe not amazing, but okay. But in this kind of game where we're doing well, I think it's better to go a bit more greedy on items, get a bigger item that does a bit more damage. I think we're winning.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Kind of the wrong Elder Titan build, I think. At least it's not the conventional one, but him having a pipe definitely helps a lot because they do have pretty much all magic damage. So that was nice. I wasted a little bit of nighttime because I was dead.
Radiant's top tower
465 MS, pretty good. You know, my Axe doesn't even really do that much here because I have so many wards down. It's kind of weird. This looks like a team fight that I'm late for.
bottom tower has fallen.
Okay. This is alright. I mean, at this game, it's basically just a winning team taking advantage of a losing team, and while they dick around a little bit. So maybe this isn't the best example of a Nightstalker game, but like if you're doing things correctly as a Nightstalker support, you're roaming, getting a lot of kills, and transitioning into a core. And I think I've shown that this game. It's very subtle things. It's learning how to gank, basically. Ooh, I can get my Lotus Orb. What does Lotus Orb block this game? Quap Dagger, Storm Pull, Toss, pretty much all of Skywrath's abilities, except for his ulti, of course, and then a couple of Disruptors things. That's kind of cool. Alright, let's see if Lotus Orb does anything for me this game. One really cool thing about Lotus Orb is one of the very few items that give you armor as well as regen. Almost no item does that, I believe, if any. I guess you could say Medallion does. That's about all I can think of. Moonhead for once. Oh, he almost got him. That was so close. I probably should have popped my ultimate as well during nighttime, because the cooldown is pretty low now. So as long as the cooldown will be up by the time it hits nighttime again, it's fine to use it. So it'll reduce their vision. Although the downside with yeah, I guess that works out. The only downside is that you might not have that vision disadvantage on your opponents while you team fight, so you might want to be a little careful about it. Did I even use my illusion? Lotus Orb did nothing. Except for tossing back, I think. Yes, caster spells. Yes. And dead again. Blah 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 blah. We're alive, we're winning, and the game is not over. I don't know why. I feel like there's very little value left in this replay. Look guys, I'm running across the map and I can see everything. Isn't this great? Look, it's a tiny. He blinked away because he outplayed me. That sucks. Luckily we found him. JK, he's too fast. Moonhead soloed Roche. As we continue, a bit of a slow on a dude. Really doesn't matter too much. I feed myself again. Am I gonna live? No, there's no way. You know what would have been way better than a 4,000 gold Lotus Orb? A fucking Black King Bar. That item is great, and it stops everything my opponents do. Instead, I got this Lotus Orb that's just gonna result in me doing nothing. Moonhead's gonna own everybody though. He almost got a triple kill there. Alright, now he's dead. Maybe not. Moonhead, you've got this. That sounds cool. I'm alive. Oh, that's right, I bought a Glimmer Cape. I think, well, should have been a BKB. Helped save my allies, but I was like the one dying this game. Alright, let's go die again, hopefully. Fingers crossed. No heroes hiding. Hitting the buildings, good stuff. Try to give him the silence. That should be a dead hero. The old Glimmer Cape to reduce damage. Alright, I think we finally won. Look at that badass. He's like, you're in your fountain? I'm gonna shoot you anyways. You know why Moonhead's good at sniper? Because he shoots guns in real life. I think that's why. He just has an affinity for shooting guns. This feels like the time that I made a replay, or I did a podcast and I was really tired. I say that because I'm really tired. That was scary. Give him the Glimmer. And we won. Okay, so if you do buy eggs on Nightstalker, you're doing a good job. But afterwards, you should buy items that are actually good. Don't buy Lotus Orb. It's such a situationally mostly bad item. It's so expensive. It's only good to remove hexes, basically. And if you're amazing, you can reflect dooms and crap like that. But I can't really. There's no doom in here, you know. There's only so many good items, so anyways, I hope you learned a little bit about roaming. This game is really just about roaming. Once the roaming happened, we kind of secured the game, and then we just dicked around till the game ended, and it wasn't really very nicely done, but it worked, and we won, and Moonhead carried me, and that was, you know, hopefully not going to be the last time. So thanks everyone for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm leaving for TI in about 4 days. I hope you guys are excited. I'm personally super excited for TI. Good to see all my friends and go to, you know, basically the best week of the year. So for me, it'll be like 2 weeks though, because I leave on the 22nd and I get back on the 11th. So it's like 3 weeks. Almost 3 weeks. A lot of time. All right. Thank you everyone for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.